Alright, shalom, y'all. Most High in Christ bless. I'm Brother Roy, and I got with me
Brother Aryeh.
And we back with another Wednesday word topic. All praise to the Most High God. We got to be able to make it to another week. I pray everybody's week is going well. And that you guys are, my grandma used to always tell me to put the Lord first. So we put the Lord first in everything that we do. He'll guide our footsteps along the way. We with Congregation of Saints. And, man, yeah, all praises, man. You know, the Wednesday words we'd like to keep, confined to a shorter time frame. So this class might break up into 2 or 3 parts. We'll see how it goes tonight, Lord's will. Y'all see the name of the class, though. And, every so often, social media, they start going around and you start seeing all these arguments about marriages, relationships, and is it 50-50? Is it the man does all this? Well, I want a traditional man. Well, I want a traditional woman. But we never go back and see how the Lord established it from the very beginning. Now, this class, we're gonna be jumping around a little bit. But the thought process is marriage, right? And we know overall, the marriage that we're supposed to be uniting in is Israel with Christ. And when I'm talking about Israel, I'm talking about you so-called blacks, you so-called Hispanics who fathers are Negro and Indian descent. You are the Lord's chosen people, better believe it. And that's thus says the Lord. You're going to find out through all the scriptures. They're going to say the house of Israel, the house of Jacob, the nation of Israel, the southern kingdom, northern kingdom. And we are God's chosen people. And we're supposed to be coming in to this marriage with Christ. So coming into this marriage with Christ, just like if you was in the world, you ask any brother, man, you want to marry a virgin? Yeah, I want to marry a virgin. But do you plan on being a virgin when you get married? See, the thought process is all jacked up. But the way we're supposed to present ourselves to Christ, Man, we should be like that virgin. We should be pure. We should be clean. We should be presenting ourselves as holy and as pure as possible. And our women today, because that marriage we're supposed to have with Christ is what we're doing here on earth carnally. When we marry a woman or a woman marries a man, that symbolically is showing out that the unity we're supposed to have with Christ. But today's world, we use what's going on today, 2023, in this man's calendar, to justify how we move about our relationships. And we wondering why you either got brothers like, what's Kevin saying, was going in on the men, going in on the women for not being who they should be at that age that they're at. Or you got 45-year-old women telling me, I got 3 kids and why I can't find a man. Because we not establishing the foundation from the very beginning. Or men wondering why, you know what I'm saying, they can't find a good woman because you done 20s and 30s, you done ran the world in the streets. So we got to come back to the foundation of these things. And we're going to go through some scriptures and we're going to touch on some attributes of men, attributes of women, the unity of marriage. And we'll see how far we get through it tonight. And Lord's will, we can pick it back up again next week. But we're going to start off in Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. 29 and verse 2.
So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 2. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Right, so when righteousness is upon the earth, the people are going to rejoice. And when we talk about what righteousness is, that's keeping the Lord's commandments. Go ahead.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
And that's what's going on right now. You look at the world as a whole. We're not rejoicing right now. Ukraine and Russia, they called a ceasefire, but they still, I just seen Biden approve more tanks going over to Ukraine. So there's madness, there's war, there's famine, there's weather all across the world, and the people are in mourning. And the ones that are rejoicing, because they got tunnel vision and they love the world and the things that's going on right now. But to the people that have a little bit of knowledge and understanding of what's really going on in the big picture, man, this isn't a happy time to be alive, so to speak, a great time to be here in this world. Shoot, talking to some of my brothers, we considering, man, you read in Matthew when it talks about the end times, about having young children and things like that, because we can see prophecies being fulfilled as we get closer and closer to Christ's return. So we know this is a time of mourning because the wicked are in rulership. And since the wicked are in rulership, it's infiltrating every way we move in this world. Whether it's the way we work, the way we have our households. And that's what I'm going to focus on today, is more so how we run our households. You got men saying this is what they should be and what they need to be, and this is what the kind of woman they want. Then you got women, and they saying this is the kind of man they want, but this is the kind of woman they are. You know, like what Kevin said, Kevin's a high-value man. You know what I'm saying? You got women who want a 10 over here, but they only a 5. Things ain't working out, and nobody's on the same page. So we living in a wicked world, and it's messing with the mindset of how our people are supposed to be viewing each other. Go to Baruch 2. Baruch 2 and start at 30. We could start up, but for the sake of time, we're going to start at verse 30. No, you go ahead. I'm good.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 2 and verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves.
And that's what's happening right now, man. Our people have been a stiff-necked generation. Every generation, we got stiff-necked brothers and sisters that's in this walk. But in the land of our captivity, that's where we at now. We was a people taken from another nation, brought over here. So we're a nation inside of a nation. So we're still in captivity now. They took the chains off, but we're still here in captivity. So now we're seeing all the signs and the things that's going on to our people, and we're starting to wake back up. We're starting to wake back up. Keep going.
Verse 31. And shall know that I am the Lord their God, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear.
Right, so we're going to start having better understanding, but because we're returning back to our God, returning back to our laws and commandments. And that's what we're supposed to be doing right now. This is how we're going to be able to start laying the groundwork to have successful marriages. to be on the same page with our women, for the women to be on the same page as the men, and for us to be in order while we do that. There's a proper order as well. And what's distorting the world right now is feminism, or the emasculation of men. You see it in these celebrities. And I'm not saying, trust me, you see the Migos, Westbrook, Dwayne Wade. You see how the way they dress, the way they move. They're not showing themselves to be men when they wear these weird clothes and weird outfits. Or when Young Thug puts on a dress for an album cover. They're demasculating the black man. And they're raising up the black woman so that she can be the ruler and leader over our nation. When you read in the scriptures, that's out of order. That's out of order. The Lord said he raised men up to be rulers over the congregation. So with that, matter of fact, I want to throw the statistic up real quick too. Because we're looking at all the things that's going on in the world. And the first thing women want to yell, when we see the words 50-50, the first thing most people think of is money. Is money. But if I'm strong in the area and you're weak in the area, now it might be 80-20. Or if you're stronger in the area, there's certain things that my wife is really good at, as far as organization and taking care of things on time and things like that. So she's stronger in that area. So everything is not going to be 50-50. But our people, all we think about is money. Oh, if I work and he work 40 hours, I'm not washing no dishes when I get home because we splitting the bills. But it's bigger than that. And that just shows you how carnally and how small-minded we think when it comes to joining together. But just for the sake of that money argument, because women want a man to pay 100% of the bills, or they want equal leadership roles. And that doesn't work like that. So this is from CNBC. This is from 2020. And you see the first group we have here is, here's the median income of American white men, broken down by age group. So the first age group they have is 16 to 24, and they're making about $33,000 a year. The next group is 25 to 54, and they're at $60,000. Now the next section is the black men. Now 16 to 24, they're making slightly less money. 25 to 54, they're making about $15,000 less already in the prime parts of their life when they're becoming men, when they're getting their careers established, when they may be starting a family. They're already $15,000 behind on average compared to the so-called white man. And if you look on this website, maybe I'll post it in the comments later, if you look on that website, it also breaks down the Asians, the Latinos, the Native Americans, and believe it or not, the Asians are outdoing the so-called white man.
Hey, they stay together, man.
Right, that too.
Not saying Esau don't stay together, but the Asian people, they really stay together. Like, I watched the video. They basically say, like, you know how in our communities, when they, for example, going from high school to college, we say, we can be whatever we want. I'm gonna be a lawyer, I'm going to be a teacher, I'm going to be this, that, and the third. But in their community, it's like you do what the family needs. So, like, you may want to be a lawyer, but you're not going to school to become a lawyer. You're going to going to school to become a hairdresser. That's just to throw something out there. They force their kids, and they'll tell their kids to do things that actively and almost immediately will benefit the well-being of their family instead of, the oldest wants to be a lawyer, the next kid wants to be a doctor, the next kid wants to be a hairdresser. They actually force them to do things that will all benefit each other. So when the family actually comes together when the family comes together, it'll benefit the family overall.
Right, and I every now and then I watch some different reality shows on Netflix, and you're right, them Asian communities, they don't play about their children and the structure and the foundation they lay out for them. They do not play about that. Just like the brother was saying, and especially as far as the career paths go. And even you look at the disadvantage we have here in America when you see foreigners get better banking, better loans, and set up their businesses, because Asians gonna have some hair stores and they're gonna have the Chinese spots open all the time. And who flocks there? Our people. The Africans, they're gonna be able to come over here and get loans and things like that, and they're gonna be able to do it. And then shoot, even our brothers in Issachar, at least they know how to come together and put their funds together. You know what I mean? But they still at the bottom of the totem pole. when it comes to society. So now you're looking at all the things that are against the so-called black men or the black families, and it's already at a disadvantage. And what they've done is, and matter of fact, even from the time we got over here on these slave ships, man, they've been studying us. Even before then, they've been studying our people. And this book, the Willie Lynch Letter, if you get a chance to read it, it's a short, very short book, man. Very short book to read. You can read it probably in an hour or two. But reading this book, they show you how to make a slave, how to make a slave marriage, how to raise the children, how to buck break the man in front of the women to the point where he almost dies, but he doesn't. So that way, the only person he fears is the so-called white man. And then you got your women seeing this or can't be protected by the plantation owners and things like that. And what does it do to the relationships now? And that thing has inherently been happening after generation, where now our women used to look at us like up here, but then you go through all these trauma, generation after generation, and then you raise up these men in single parent homes, and you don't need they seeing their mom being single or being a harlot out here in the streets or whatever it might be, and now you're destroying the mentality and the structure that's supposed to be built in us. And that's happened generation after generation, and now we're so far gone away from what we're supposed to be. But we see it every summer at the beach, man. Everybody gonna have their king shirts and their queen shirts on, but don't know anything about building the kingdom. Don't know anything about royalty. Instead, we act like the little, hey man, just go out there and dance. We go out there and you see the Cardi B's, you see the athletes, and they just go out there and dance. Just put on a show for us. But with those are our role models. And then women are expecting men to be, what Kevin Samuels says, a high value man. The battle is already against us. And instead of us fighting each other, the battle isn't between the man and the woman in our community. We should be teaming up because the battle is against us together. The battles have been against us. I read an article a few years ago, and there's a neighborhood in downtown Portsmouth, and it was literally called the London Oaks Project, where they built apartments for single mothers to be on Section 8. And it was literally a project to see how that was going to develop and work as far as them in generations to come. And now you see it in every city. You're going to have that part of the area where it's low income, where you can't be married to be in there because y'all make too much money together. And now it's becoming a lifestyle. It's becoming a lifestyle to be a single parent. Or it's becoming a lifestyle to live off government assistance. And if you need it, I'm not knocking the people that have to go that route. But we got to start doing for the next generation is fixing these problems. We're looking at it like it's too far gone. No, I'm raising my sons up to be young men. To marry a woman. To raise their children. Be a leader in their homes. The people that have daughters, they're raising them up to be Proverbs 31 women. Our women love throwing that verse out. Or that chapter out. So we got to start fixing it in our homes, well, ourselves and in our homes. And then we can start changing the mold that we have and the expectations of what marriage is really supposed to be. All right, let's go to Isaiah 3. I don't know how much we're going to get through tonight. We're talking a lot. Isaiah 3 and 12.
These are the type of topics that, like, we gotta talk about just simply because, not saying don't use scripture, but, like, a lot of discussion needs to happen about topics like this.
Definitely. I almost want to take the time out and go live on my personal page because I know that's where I see most of the... I don't know how many people on my personal page follow our congregation or get the notifications for videos, but I really want to tap into some of those conversations sometimes. And you can't truly get your point across through comments. Because what they say, like 90% of a conversation is body language anyway. You know what I mean? Reading the person's face or facial expressions and how they say something. So when you're reading the comment wall and then somebody's commenting, by the time you finish your comment, you got 3 new notifications. You can't keep up with the conversation.
And then on Facebook, it's a lag. So like it's like you're getting it 30 seconds later.
Right. So it's hard to really have a solid conversation. And then what people do, what they do is they start moving the goalposts. Like I was on his brother's page, man, and he had a pregnant woman. I brought this up a couple weeks ago. He had a pregnant woman twerking in the club. And I said, man, this is foolishness, man. I don't even remember exact words I used. I said, this is crazy. This is madness right here. And I said, all her friends whack too because none of them are correcting her. So all of a sudden, these women come jumping on me. Well, you know it's okay to exercise while you're pregnant. How you moving the goalposts all the way over there? She ain't exercising in the club, dancing like she dancing, tight clothes on, everybody recording her, and she on all fours. Come on, man. If you exercise and do that in the privacy of your home, or if you out and about, wear some modest apparel, sis. Y'all want to move the goalposts. You know, in African culture, we invented all these dance moves. Man, you don't even understand. You're not even an African.
Yesterday, I saw a video. It said twerking releases stress because they said stress. We hold a lot of stress in our hips. So the movement of the hips, it releases some of the pressure.
Well, do it for your husband, sis.
I'm just like, what?
Do it for your husband. Why are you in the club and you got men and women in a circle around you just recording you? And your belly is hanging out. It ain't like you, oh, I didn't even know she was pregnant yet. Nah, your belly is out and you wearing biker shorts and a tight shirt. And y'all try to move the goalposts. Oh, she just working out. She going back to her African roots and dancing. Man, get out of here. You making our people look foolish. And guess what? The people y'all say is our enemy, or the people, the white man and all that stuff, they laughing at you. They laughing at you. But you a queen, sis. You ain't gonna see no queen come off her throne and act like that in front of some people, man. You ain't ever gonna see that. They get nothing over there in Europe, but you ain't see Queen Elizabeth and Princess Diana moving around like that. Why you think they mad at what's her name, Meghan Markle or whatever her name is that married the other prince? They mad at her because some of the things she didn't do according to the royal standards. She didn't move the way she was supposed to move because they don't play about their royalty and how they carry themselves. Now that ain't our royalty, but we should be looking at it the same way. If you calling yourself a king, how does a king present himself to the people? How does a queen move for the people?
Even in like, since a lot of people like to cling to African culture, even in the movie Black Panther, the queen, at least not the daughter at least, because the daughter she I don't know what she got going on, but the real queen, the mama, she never usurped authority. And now in that one scene where Killmonger and all that, but other than that, she never usurped authority over her son or even her husband. You never seen her stepping out, dressing crazy. Even outside of even in that one scene in the beginning where they stepped off to after T'Challa's funeral. Even when they stepped off,
I ain't see the second one yet.
Oh, well,
no, you good.
It ain't a spoiler, but even when they stepped out and he was trying to basically help her mourn. She was still in modest apparel. Even when she went in front of the press, she still acted accordingly. She never stepped out of line. She never dressed differently. She never dressed differently. So, like I was saying, just we cling to African culture. There's African culture, but even in that movie, we never stepped outside of the natural way of how we do things.
Right. And then if you really, and we got other books in here too, man. Babylon the Timbuktu, it talks about how our people, when we were in Africa, the Africans looked up to us for how we carried ourselves. The order we had, the positions in work and keeping the records and the governments and the roles and everything we played. Africans looked up to us in that aspect and try to take on our ways. So when I made the comment, I said, you don't really know the history, but I ain't about to get into that because you're not going to be able to really digest all of that if I'm just throwing comments. And plus, once you start moving the goalposts just to fit your scenario, we can't have a dialogue now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We're going to do it one day. We're going to do it one day. I'm going to go live. We got to get a little panel going and go live on my page, man, because some of these things need to be addressed, and we got to meet them where they at sometimes. Like, they might not be following this page. More than likely, they probably not. But we got to meet them where they at sometimes. Where we at? Oh, Isaiah 3 and 12.
Isaiah chapter 3. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
And that's what's going on right now. Even women will use children to make them your oppressors. Because what happens when you get a divorce or you separate? Well, I'm putting him on child support. Or I'm going to make his life a living hell. Or he can't see these kids. And then this deadbeat dad. And then he goes straight to social media with it. And now they're using the children to oppress you. And women are oppressing us. They're using the same gimmicks and mind streams and manipulation that the slave master used. Because you read that book, The Willie Lynch Letter, it talks about exactly how to talk to him, exactly how to separate them from light skin, straight hair, curly hair, house Negro, field Negro. It separates all that. And the women do the same thing. They start categorizing the men. Oh, you a deadbeat. Well, I already showed you, we already out here struggling to make ends meet. And then you're going to add more burdens just to put the black man further even down. And you know, but then they get up here and, man, a girl called her friend out the other day and said something about her baby dad. She's like, girl, you got 5 baby dads. Which one are you talking about?
Dang.
I said, dang, is that really your friend? But either way, though, it's the mentality is, man, women can do no wrong. And really, at the end of the day, nobody proved each other on see who you should have laid down with, who you should have had a kid with. And I'm not saying every situation is going to be perfect. Because even in our nation, there's a just man fall of 7 times. There's still going to be situations on our side. But when you live in worldly, have no concept of building, proving somebody. We went over that a couple weeks ago, proving a friend. Who's in your corner? So you got to prove your spouse before you lay down.
Yes.
And then the first thing the girl said a couple years ago, well, was you a virgin when you got married? Sis, I know better now. Am I going to keep repeating the same cycle for my kids? Am I not going to teach them the right way just because I messed up? Our mentality is so broken on some of these concepts and discussions.
People have just like this self-centered idea about us, or don't even really know about us. The only thing they know about us is through TV. You know, they show like little clips of us, you know, basically saying, you know, you devil, you sin, all this other stuff, but they don't show the part where we're saying like we understand like, yo, we messed up. All of it, every single one of us have a past. Every single one of us have a past coming into this, but now we're taking the steps to not only overcome that past, but become the better person or the righteous man and woman that the scriptures say to be. So now we're trying to teach our kids what we learned at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We're trying to teach them when they're young. So yeah, they're going to have their battles, but they're not going to face the same struggles that we did. And that's all we're trying to do. We're not trying to scream like we're perfect, but right. We're trying to strive to be perfection. We're trying to be born again. Once we learned about this Bible, we became a babe again.
Right.
We became a child again, because now we got to unlearn everything that we learned before, and now we got to relearn everything that is in this book.
And the worldly mindset is to what? Open your closet up and check out your skeletons. You know why? Because you're ashamed of your past. See, what we understand on this side is confession, repentance, and now being obedient. On the worldly side, all you know is shame. Man, I got all this in my bag. Well, you ain't no better than me. Look at your skeletons. When the Lord said He's going to wink at our ignorance, when the Lord said He's going to cast these things to the lake of fire, we're supposed to, like He said, we're supposed to be reborn in this now. That's the mentality we have. So, like He said, we're not looking at you from a high holy place and condemning you, but our job as watchmen is to go out here and warn our people now. It's, oh man, we found the right way.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, the directions we had in the world, they wrong, bro. They wrong, man. You ain't put drive, you put avenue. You're going the wrong way. Now we have the directions. And all we're trying to do is help our people. But our people want to do things their own way. They want to take the scenic route. Go to 1 Ezra 4. First Ezra 4. I think I'm going to start at 14.
First Ezra chapter 4 and verse 14. O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excellent, my bad. Who is it then that ruleth over them?
Right, so, and we're jumping forward here in the story, but Zerubbabel is about to be given his case for what's the strongest. They were talking about, is it wine, is it the king, is it woman, or truth? So Zerubbabel is like, all right, it's my turn now. They already talked about the wine, they already talked about the king, or which one's the strongest. So Zerubbabel is about to give his testimony and his understanding on what's the strongest. Go ahead.
Verse 15.
No, you finished 14?
Oh, 14.
We'll read from the top.
1 Ezra chapter 4 and verse 14. O ye men, is it not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth? Who is it then that ruleth over them or have lordship over them? Are they not women?
Right. So he said, man, y'all said wine got a ruler over y'all, because when you become wine, you don't. When you become drunken with wine, you're not thinking straight. It allows you to make dumb decisions, so it controls you. Then he said, nah. Then the other brother said, nah, it's the king. The king controls you. Look at his authority. Look at it. He can call his whole army right now, wipe out this whole thing. And when does the king not give an order and it doesn't get finished? But Zerubbabel saying, yeah, I hear you on all those things, but isn't it the women that rule over them? Keep going.
Verse 15. Women have borne the king,
Uh-huh.
and all the people that bear rule by sea and land.
Right, so then we get into that argument. Well, you came from a woman. How you going to disrespect a woman? How you going to be a ruler of a woman? Or them brothers, the God is a woman because you had to be born. Well, who made her? Man, Brother Polite, man, I remember watching the video, man. Somebody sent it to me. He's like, hey, man, you got to watch this. I'm like, all right, let me check it out, man. He's talking a whole lot of just in circles, a whole lot of saying a whole lot of nothing.
He trying to sound smart.
He sounds super smart to people that ain't learning. But then somebody asked him, well, who made the woman then? He said, well, I ain't really got an answer for that one. So now your whole theory is out the window. It's just a theory now. It's just a theory. It ain't proven, it ain't factual or nothing now. It just sounds good. For the people that want to throw Christianity away, they throw the whole Bible with it. Not just the religion, they throw the whole Bible with it. Or the white man made it, then they throw the whole book away. When you read what's going on in all these nations, Israel the only nation getting saved. So that eliminates all these other people saying they wrote this Bible. So he's saying, man, so that just kills all that, that people like to use that. With the women, she born the king. But anyway, jump down to verse 25. We're not going to read this whole account. If y'all want to read it, though, please check it out. First Ezra chapter 3 and chapter 4. Beautiful story about how we view things as far as what's strong, and a lot of different attributes go into this account. But jump down to verse 25.
First Ezra chapter 4 verse 25. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother.
Right, so it's showing you the power of a woman. You love your woman more than your father and your mother. And in all honesty, that's how it should be. Once you become married, she's supposed to be number one in your life. Just like we're supposed to be married into Christ, there's nothing supposed to come in between that. You read that in Matthew 19 to 29. The people that forsake mother, father, and brother for the Lord's sake, you're going to receive 100-fold, 10-fold, what the scripture says. I'm paraphrasing. Matthew 19 to 29. Keep going.
Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes.
And we just read that in Isaiah, where women are our oppressors. But people have they lost their minds, what the scripture is saying, for women, and you've become servants to them. That's what's going on in today's world. Women use their power, however you want to view what their power is, whether it's beauty, physical attraction, or their words. And man, what's that movie?
What men want.
I don't know what that, but it's the one with Eddie Murphy, Halle Berry, and what's her name? It's an older movie, man.
Oh, I don't know. I thought.
Dang. But the more powerful woman in the office started using her position and her power to start making Eddie Murphy go crazy. And when he had the good girl
You
over
talking
here,
about his?
I can't remember what it's called.
I heard the movie. I don't.
It's not. Nah, man.
I got a movie in my head, but it's
It's
like,
an old movie. I know I'm a little older than you. I'm showing my age, but it's a movie basically just showing how the women use their power in all phases of what they can use for their power to make men go crazy. 27.
Verse 27. Many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women.
Right, we perished. People that got killed over women. You jealous, or you got what they call it, a passion crime, or you can't get the woman you want, or you done committed suicide over a woman. Man, you've perished, you've erred, you've done things wrong for the women, and you've sinned just for a woman. Keep going.
And now, do ye not believe me? Is it not the king great in his power? Do not all reach the spirit to touch him?
Right, so he's naming all the things a woman got you doing, but then he's going to say, isn't the king still powerful though? Keep going.
Yet did I see him and pay me, the king's concubine, the daughter of that admirable Bardicus, sitting at the right hand of the king.
Right, so now he's saying, I saw this king's concubine sitting with the king. Let me show you how this woman going to act. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And taking the crown from the king's head and setting it upon her own head, she also struck the king with her left hand.
Right, so she done took the man crown off, then smacked him on his face, put his crown on her head, and this king ain't do nothing about it. Keep going.
And yet, for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth.
And that's what the deceiving part of it is. You see the beauty of a woman. Captain Al went over this last Sabbath. Y'all go back and look at that class, the lust of the eyes of men. Men lusting after these women. This is what he was doing here. He lusting after her so bad that all he could do was still just open mouth gazing at her. She done slapped the man, took his crown off his head. This the king. Keep going.
If she laughed upon him, he laughed also.
It might not even be funny, but she made a little joke. Oh, you laughing. You trying to appease her. You don't want to turn her away, turn her off. And that's how some brothers be out here too. I know I used to say in the world, man, like, I'm not thirsty, bro. I'm not that hungry to be chasing after women like that. You know what I'm saying? I used to be like, I used to say I'm full. And I ain't trying to sound cocky now. I used to be like, man, I'm full. To me, from the outside looking in, I see my friends in the world chasing after girls and looking foolish. And I was like, man, I can't look like that, bro. I ain't never saying I ain't never try to go after a girl. But I was not chasing them. And back in the day, be at the beach, hey, girl. That was never me to be to be that gone after them where I'm getting slapped in the face, laughing at stupid jokes just to appease them. I couldn't do that. Keep going. Read that part again. She laughed.
If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter, that she might reconcile to him again.
Oh, you didn't like that, babe? I'm sorry, babe. Come, look, you beautiful. I didn't mean that. He had to hurry up and get her back if she seen any displeasure. You see how powerful women can be over our minds? But that's because, straight up and down, that's what you call a simp. That's what you call a simp man. He's not a strong man if he can't stay rooted and keep his mind solid just because a beautiful woman is around him. A beautiful woman is around him. What they be like? What they say now? Know your worth, king. Know your worth.
They saying that to the women now,
right?
It
go both ways. But I'm talking to the brothers, man. Know your worth, bro. Know your worth. Know who you are. And if we say you a king, who's above you on earth? You know what I'm saying? Verse 32.
O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus?
Right, and we're going to leave it there. We ain't going to read that whole entire account, but I just want to read that part right there, showing you how powerful women are even over a king. Even over a king, a woman is that powerful, or shows what power she has over men. And that is out of order, or it causes men to be out of order, like we read earlier, to be in error, to be in sin, all for chasing after a woman. And it goes into women being that strong. It shows you how they love being in that position of power. They want to be in that position of power. Let's go to Genesis. Just like in the very beginning, Eve had a head. She had a ruler over her head. But as soon as somebody else came into the in between them, all of a sudden she wanted to start doing things that she wanted to do. And what happened with that? Things went south. And because of her, now women got, painful births. Men got to till the land and not get this food, crops and everything like that. So now you get all these things going on because women want the power of rulership over men. And that's not the way the Lord set it up. We're going to read this account real quick. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God hath made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Right,
so hey man, what you mean you can't get the same job as him and make more money than him and do everything he want to do? Translated to today's time, this is what happened in the early 1900s. The whole Rosie the Riveter and the men going off to war, so they needed women to fill the positions in the factories. It even got so bad they started putting kids in there. But then now you get women, all right, now they doing these men roles, and now, okay, we fighting for equal pay. And I'm not saying equal work, so you can get equal pay, but the mindset started changing now. Now I'm doing the same thing as this man. Now the roles are starting to switch. And now it's, hey man, I do the same thing you do, and we're going to be equal in this house. And then it's like, oh, well, you know what? I don't even need you no more. A couple years ago, so-called black women were the #1 business starters in the country. I think it was like 2019. I don't know the exact date. I think it was 2019. And that's a beautiful thing. But also comes with that, a lot of women get that ego trip. They get that feminine mentality of, I don't need a man. I don't need this. And now what does it start causing? It start causing division. Nobody wants to get married anymore. Nobody wants to stay married. You know what I'm saying? You just want to sleep around. And even in all the TV shows, they show all these powerful women. Scandal. Kerry Washington was the most powerful woman in D.C., but she still had to sleep with a married man. Then you see that, what was the other movie my wife used to watch? Gabrielle Union, man. Dang, she was like a news anchor or something like that.
Being Mary Jane.
Being Mary Jane. She was a powerful news anchor, the rock of the family, making the money, and she still had to sleep with other men, sleep around with other men. Then had to freeze the dude's seed in order to try to have a kid later on.
I watched that show. She literally didn't get married till the end of the show.
Oh, I didn't keep up with that. I know my wife used to watch it. I didn't keep up with every season of it. I mean, I see if she's in it, but she ever get married?
She got married literally at the end.
The season finale.
The last episode. The last episode was her getting married, but she just up until that, she was sleeping with different men,
right,
having sneaky links, and then even the good dude that she had, she messed it up by sleeping with Mr. Wrong.
Oh, you know the names. I don't remember the names.
No.
Mr. Wrong.
Yeah.
Mr. Wrong.
No, Mr. Wrong. She ended up sleeping with Mr. Wrong and ended up married. Now, they didn't show anything after that. I don't know if the show still continues after that, but you know, she slept with a whole bunch of men and went through a whole bunch of depressive stages before she got to that point.
Right. And it just shows you, even like that, and that was that dude that brainwashes our women to think, oh, I can be a powerful woman, don't need to settle down, or I can be a powerful woman and still sleep around. I don't need to get married. But then you lonely, like then you get on Kevin Samuel's show and you mad at him for telling you the truth. Because now you 45, 50 and single. Hey, what are you supposed to do now?
They show that example all the time.
All the time.
Like they get on, like Kevin Samuels, he told other examples of like the women that he spoke to when they were 30.
A lot of them was delusional.
Yes, when he spoke to them years ago, and now that they're in their late 30s, they're still single, and all they was like, Kevin Samuels are right. They even show it like
I'm about to pull some of the videos up for the next class because we ain't gonna get through this tonight.
even in the movie, even when they make the movies, they show, like you said, they show the powerful woman, the rich woman. She's depressed. She can't get a man.
They do it more for our women because you watch some of these Lifetime movies and all that. These so-called white women, they still married. Now they might have their drama and stuff, but they still get married and have a family at least.
It's a show. It was a show on Netflix. It was out like last year. It was called like The Maid or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but it was the main character was an Edomite woman, but then she went to go clean out this rich Jake lady house. And this Jake, she was I think it was Oprah played her character, I believe, if memory serves correct. But anyway, she was this rich woman. She was in her 40s. She was rich. She had everything going for her. But guess what? At the end, she was sad because she didn't have a kid. She didn't have a husband. She didn't have a family. That literally had her depressed.
And that's the crazy part about it. If you go through the history, and even whether you want to go in the scriptures or even in the world, or you see some of the kings in Europe, they literally would find ways to divorce their wife if they couldn't bring them forth a son or bring them forth a child. That's how precious and important it was for a woman to bear somebody a child. You read the account with Sarah. She, in my old age, where the Lord still blessed and opened her womb up. But like women now, they plan B. They always got a plan B. And take that how you want to take it. We can do that in another class. Verse 2.
Verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
Right, so she know the commandment. We can eat all the trees of the garden. Go ahead.
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said it, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Right, so Adam and Eve had commandments in the very beginning. Keep going.
Verse 4, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
Mm-hmm.
For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
You see, that's exactly what's going on today with this feminist movement. Just translate it to now. Hey, you could be just like the man. You could be better than him. What? You going, man, no, you not. Go ahead, come on. You raise yourself up. Be just like him. See good, all the good and evil. Be a God. Keep going. Verse 6.
Oh, man, my bad. I lost my place. Verse 6.
Yeah, verse 6.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food.
Right, now she knew beforehand, and now her mind's messing with it. Oh, now she see it is good for food. Go ahead.
And that it was pleasant to the eyes.
And that's what's going on. Now you're getting deceived by the lust of your eyes, the lust of your flesh. Go ahead.
And a tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat.
Mm-hmm.
And gave her also unto her a husband.
Also unto her husband.
Oh, my bad. Gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
Right, so not only did she partake in the sin and doing the wrong thing, she brought it back to the husband. So now, we're not going to be able, what we going to next? We about to leave it up. Matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and read it. Sirach 25:24. Then we're going to leave it off right here, because when we come back into this, we're going to start showing you why the Lord put things in order. Because of starting off with your foremother Eve right here. Sirach 25:24.
Sirach chapter 25, verse 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin.
There it is. And because of the woman.
And through her we all die.
Right. So now sin entered into mankind, and now we have to we see death. You read that Romans 6:23. The wages of sin is death. So now we don't know how old Adam and Eve was when they were living in the garden to that point. They could have been 1,000 years old at this point. Or they could have been 30 years old. But they were never supposed to see death until that sin came in. So, not trying to get too long-winded on these Wednesday classes. We're going to break this up. A couple different parts, man. Because we really want to, we need to get this foundation built back up. This first part was here just showing all the disorder. All the things that went wrong. The curses that we're in. Men not being in a rightful place because they're allowing women and children to be the oppressors. Today's world has allowed the woman to rise up so high and is bringing the so-called black man down. And we got to balance this thing back out. And balancing it back out doesn't always mean 50-50. Doesn't always mean 50-50. This brother got talents that I don't have. So if I'm weak in the area, we're going to balance each other out because he's going to be able to be stronger here and I'll just carry my weight. And it might be some things vice versa. And it's going to work like that. That's the balance that we need to have. It doesn't always mean 50-50. So in these marriages, we're going to get into it more the next class. We still got to finish with these women. But we also got to show where the men are supposed to be in their rightful place. So, Lord's will, the beginning of this was edifying. I pray that y'all tune in next Wednesday. Lord's will, we can pick this up. Marriage. To be or not to be 50-50. To be or not to be a 50-50 mindset. And like I said earlier, it's not always just about money. So Lord's will is edifying. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and close out with our normal scriptures. 1 Corinthians 13:13. My bad.
No, you straight. That was the best one.
1 Corinthians 13:13.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
I want the 2 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 13. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is charity.
In everything we do, especially over here at COS, man, we try to show that true love, true charity, true patience, all the attributes that Christ showed us while he walked the earth to our people. Even in classes like this, we're not trying to condemn anybody, but we have to start rebuilding our nation. Everybody on the streets we talk to, Psalms 119. Everybody in the streets that we talk to, we always ask, man, well, how are we going to fix this? Well, we need to come together. How? And this is how right here. And it starts with the households. It starts with the men, being back in their rightful position, and then we got to build our families, man, through righteous marriages and raising up righteous children. Psalms 119 and 59.
Psalms chapter 119 and verse 1. What you said, 159?
No, 59.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Psalms chapter 119 and verse 59. I thought of my ways and turned my feet unto thy testimonies.
Right, so now we got to consider our ways. Man, am I doing this right? Am I proving this woman right? Or am I in a bad relationship? Or am I in a good relationship? Am I being the man I'm supposed to be? Is this woman being the woman she's supposed to be? You got to think on your ways. And 99.9% of the time, what we was thinking was wrong. So the Lord said we got to turn to his testimonies. We got to turn back to Christ. And he's going to guide our footsteps the right way. Go ahead.
Verse 60. I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments.
And once you learn something new, once you understand the man you're supposed to be in the marriage or whatever the commandment you're supposed to be keeping, you got to make haste, man. I was talking to my brother the other day. And he's like, yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to just study. I'm trying to figure it out. I said, man, the Lord said the way we get our understanding and knowledge and wisdom is through keeping his commandments. We can read this whole Bible, Genesis to Revelations, and that's the same people on the street. I read the Bible. That ain't for me. I don't know. Because you ain't obey nothing in it. That's why you didn't get any understanding. That's why you didn't get nothing from it. It was just another book to you. But when you actually start keeping the commandments, keeping the laws of the Lord, your knowledge and wisdom and understanding will start increasing, like David said later in the same chapter, Psalms 119. So with that, we're going to sign off till next week, man. Y'all tune in this Friday and Saturday for more classes for the Sabbath. Y'all can remain, be blessed, man. Stay focused, man. Stay disciplined. And keep it enduring to the end, man. Shalom.
Shalom.
To him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me? And I forgive time.
It ain't nowhere that I can't go. You see me, you see him, I'm like children in the flame. It's because I follow him though. He the light to my feet, it's like flames what I follow. But let me stop for you heathos. I've been crossed many times, so yes I know the payo. And forgive is where I ain't go. Told the brother get in line, giving shots like a needle. I've been sinning for real, murder, but I ain't killed for real. Shot for shot to seal the deal. Now I'm here to swallow the pill. Now I'm woozy, don't know how to act. Devil is mine, I'm fully attacked. My spirits of flesh, I taking it back, and I ain't thinking about bringing it back. Tap, tap, I think I ain't hearing right. The Lord come like a thief at night, but I ain't believe the hype. Yeah, like Saul when I seen the night, but had me feeling like Paul when I found the light. Cap, 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 cap. You say you love your people, but that's cap, cap, cap. You swear you don't be lying, but that's cap, cap, cap. You say you did atonement, but that's cap, cap, cap. I say cap, 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 cap. You say you love your nation, but that's cap, cap, cap. You swear you done with envy, but that's cap, cap, cap. You say you did atonement, but that's cap, cap, cap. I say.
So Peter said, brother sin against him. He offended. He does something unlawful. Could have took your money, could have tail bearer again. Any of those types. How many times should I forgive? 7 times? Because 7 was a complete number. What did it matter?
Jesus said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70.